actually had a very interesting question. Uh, One time I was just laying on the bed and started thinking to myself, Leon, what's the minimum amount of chihuahuas that would take to kill a human being? It's a very interesting question. It's a very philosophical question. Some people might say that. And some people might say it's actually unethical. You know, you find those animal rights activists, they might want to cancel me because you know they obviously it's not good to condone violence towards animals and whatnot. I love animals. Just to put it out there, this is just a hypothetical. Uh, you know, so I did some investigations. This is actually this is something that was inspired. This question was inspired by one of the episodes I saw on The Simpsons. Wait, not The Simpsons. Sorry, The Family Guy. I don't know if you all watched. There's this one episode of Family Guy where Peter Griffin asks. I think he asked, "What's the name of that disabled guy?" Anyway, he asked him, "Hey, bro, what's the minimum amount of eighth graders he can take on before you win, before you lose?" And obviously, if I was to talk about kids, obviously that would be a lot more sensitive. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna avoid that. So let's just talk about dogs, chihuahuas. Anyway, before we go into the stats, like the weight and stuff, let's talk about my first experience with chihuahuas. Uh, and this was in Kenya. Ironically, in Kenya, most dogs are just a regular village dog. They call it's a species of dog, not a species, but a subspecies or a variety of dogs called what's the name again? It's like African village dog. I forgot the name, but yeah, most dogs are just the same in Africa. But some people have brought into Kenya like chihuahuas, and one of those people is my uncle. I have a very rich uncle who lives in Nairobi, and so his wife, who's an American, had brought a chihuahua, a little chihuahua man, and that little dog was very mean, bro. I mean, it wouldn't let you touch it. Like if you tried to touch it, bro, that thing would bite the hell out of you. So that was kind of one of the inspirations that I got to making these videos. So we obviously know Chihuahuas are very aggressive, but they're not the most deadly dogs ever. I mean, there's bulldogs, there's pit dogs, that Rottweilers, and one interesting story is that I was once bitten by a Rottweiler. So I don't like Rottweilers that much. For those Kenyans who don't know what Rottweilers, they're those black dogs that have like pseudo eyes. They have like a brown spot right here, so it kind of looks like they have two eyes. I don't know why they have that, but yeah, there's obviously a lot of bigger dogs that would easily kill a human being, even if it's just one dog. But Chihuahuas are very tiny, and from the stats, from the statistics that I have here, the average Chihuahua is about 5 pounds, and they're about 5 inch tall, 5 inches tall, which should be about is it 10, about 12 centimeters. They're just really tiny, which makes this question which makes this question a lot more interesting, right? Because there's a lot of tiny of them, and there's just one average human being. And from what I have here, the average human being is about 200 pounds, which is a lot. A long time ago, humans were very we were not. I mean, the average weight for a human being was much lower, because a long time ago, you could not afford to be heavy, because you had to run. Human beings evolved as persistent hunters, and basically what that means is that we had to be to hunt like wild dogs. I don't know if you all know wild dogs or painted wolves. Some people call them painted wolves. Painted wolves, uh, they're a species of dogs. I don't know, canines who sorry, that was Siri, who evolved to hunt prey by just chasing them till the prey got tired. But anyway, yeah. So the average human weight is 200 pounds, and the average Chihuahua weight is 5 pounds, and that means the average human is 20 times, about 20 times. Wait, is it 20? No, 40 times heavier than a Chihuahua. So would that mean that it's going to take 40 chihuahuas to kill a human. Uh, I don't know. And so I went to the internet and apparently on Quarter. I don't know if you guys know Quarter. Quarter. I might be saying that wrong. You know, I'm Kenyan. Okay, yeah, don't ambush me because I don't know how to say Quora. But in Quora, according to Quora, some people are saying like it might take just one, but I don't believe that. I mean, Chihuahuas are very tiny, and let's think. How would a Chihuahua kill you? There's a lot of ways, right? I mean, the animal kingdom. I mean, there's a lot of ways that animals kill each other, right? When it comes to lions, they just suffocate you. Like lions usually bite their esophagus and they bite the prey until the prey can't breathe. But I don't think that would apply for chihuahuas because chihuahuas have very tiny mouths, right? So they're really tiny. They have like really tiny tooths that are like 1 inch tall. So I'm not sure that would work. But remember, there's 40 of them, at least 40 of them. So, man, I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna think that chihuahuas might kill you out of exhaustion, right? You you actually you're actually gonna. It's very likely that you're gonna kill a lot of them. Uh, the first 30 or the first 40, you're gonna be able to kill them. But the more you kill them and the more they come, the more you get tired. And the more you get tired, the less you can swing your uh, hands, the less you can stomp on them, and those are some of the ways you can kill chihuahuas, which is a very bad way to put it. But this is just all hypothetical. Okay, let's assume that chihuahuas are zombie dogs. Okay, that'll make us a little bit more uh, feel a little bit less bad about killing chihuahuas. Some people think they're cute, so but yeah, some of the ways you can kill a chihuahua would be like stomping them. I'm talking about if they're coming at you at like in the hundreds or like many of them at the same time. I'm guessing the easiest way would be like stepping on them, maybe suffocating them, some of them. But you're fighting multiple of them at once. So probably when you're stepping on some of them with one foot, others are gonna be biting your other foot. And when you turn on the other ones, the rest of them are gonna jump on your thigh, and at some point they're gonna bring you down, right? You're gonna get tired. They're either gonna bring you down, or you're just gonna get tired of, or a combination of both, right? They're gonna bring you down because you're tired. And so this number of chihuahuas, this theoretical number of chihuahuas necessary to take down a regular human being, in my opinion, would be around 60. I'm going to put it at 60. And of course, we're talking about a 200-pound person. And we're assuming it's going to be a male person. I don't know what the number might be for a female, but that's going to depend for a variety of factors, right? Like your body weight, your muscle, the amount of muscle you have, the amount of stamina, uh, and maybe even bravery or previous experience with Combat. Obviously, it's highly unlikely that you have experience with combat with fighting other chihuahuas, but uh, those are just some of the factors. Yeah, I'm gonna put the number at about 60. 60 chihuahuas would be right about enough to take on the average human being before they kill you, and I think they're gonna kill you by just biting you until you bleed to death. Because at some point they're gonna bite you. Many of them, there's gonna be scratches, and the scratches are going to grow, and they're gonna get into your blood vessels. So at some point you're gonna bleed a lot, and you're gonna lose a lot of blood, and I think that's how you're gonna die. Uh, and some of them might even take out your eyes, which is kind of bad. But that's kind of like an idea for a horror film. Hopefully, somebody might take on this idea and go ahead and make a film about chihuahuas, the rise of the chihuahuas. So, like many chihuahuas are going to invade the whole world, like billions and billions of them, and they're going to eat every human in their path. Obviously, this is all just theoretical, okay? Let's not get too deep into it. Let's not think too much about it. And like I said, this is all hypothetically. It was just a question that came to my mind. So don't think of me as a dog killer or as an animal hater. I like animals. I don't have a pet, but I've been thinking about getting a cat. Africans call it cat. Cat. Americans call it cat. Hopefully, I can get a hold of a cat someday. In America, you need a lot. One interesting thing about living in America, for you to have a pet, pets are more like children than they are pets. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I mean. In Africa, if you have a dog, you just bring the dog home, and the dog is gonna eat the remaining food that you have. It's gonna live outside, and it doesn't need any special treatment. You don't have to take it to the vet. But in America, things are very different. In America, you have to feed the dog dog food, and you got to take it to the vet every now and then. You got to take it for walks. So these are very different things. This is part of the reason. Oh, and if you rent a house, you have to disclose to your landlord that you have a pet, and they're gonna charge you extra rent for the pet. So if you have a cat, they might charge you $100 a month, or like $100 for the year, depending on where you live. So yeah, those are some of the reasons why I don't have a cat or a dog. You also have to pick up after them, and it's a lot. It's a lot if you don't have a stable job, if you don't have your own home. So yeah. But anyway, on to other news. Apparently in Kenya, there's this couple goals. Couple goals. There's a guy called Pascal Tokodi, and Pascal apparently and his wife have broken apart. His wife is called Grace Eki. She has a hard name. Ekipara. I think she's Maasai or something. Anyway, they broke up, and that apparently Kenyans are very. Uh, it's caused a frenzy all across the nation. First of all, let's listen to this. Apparently, on the Kibe said something.
Think about it. I love you. I will never leave you. You're my one and only. I have never thought I could not think of anyone else. I can see myself spending the rest of my life with you.
Okay, that was Andrew Kibe. I thought he was gonna say something about Grace Akirapa, but yeah, apparently that's something that's trending in Kenya. And when I saw that breakup of that couple, famous couple in Kenya, it had me thinking about a famous Kenyan song called Stella. And Stella is a song by a man called Freshly Mwamburi. Freshly Mwamburi is a Kenyan guy from the coast, and he sang this song, which had me thinking: was this song based on a true story? The title of the song is Stella. I don't know if I already said that. I'll probably say that. But Stella, let's go ahead and look at the lyrics, right? So anyway, I'm just gonna give you a, what do they call it? A synopsis, like the overall of that uh, song. So anyway, there's this guy. Apparently, he had a girlfriend, a woman or a girlfriend. I don't know, maybe a fiance, and Freshly Momburu in that song. Apparently, uh, this Chile, his woman wanted to go abroad to study, specifically to Japan, and she was going to study medicine, so that they can come back and raise a family or whatever. But anyway, for you to go to Japan, obviously you need a lot of money, right? For school fees, you need a lot of money for the plane ticket. You also need a lot of money just to sustain yourself, because Japan is a first world country. So when you're going there, things are gonna be a lot more expensive than in Kenya. So anyway, in the song, this guy sings about how he was happy about his woman going to Japan, and how he was happy, and he raised a lot of money to to enable for his woman to go to Japan. Uh, let me find the lyrics. Where is the lyrics? I want to read straight from the lyrics, right? And you can find this song on YouTube. By the way, it's a very interesting song if you know Swahili. It says nilikuwa na mchumba wangu tulipendana kama nyama choma, right? Yeah, nyama choma is a very famous dish in Kenya, and so he's saying like he loved her like nyama choma. It's kind of like saying I love somebody like pizza. In the US, people like pizza. So yeah, apparently he loved this woman like pizza, and he went to Japan. In Kenya, we call in Swahili Japan is apparently Japani. Nothing too fancy there. And the girl was going to study medicine for 3 years, which is a suspicious. It's kind of suspicious. Who goes to study medicine for 3 years? It says alibahatika kwenda ng'ambo chuo kikuu kwenda kusoma, miaka tatu kule Japani. Okay. 3 years in Japan to study medicine. I don't know what kind of medicine that was, but it's a very suspicious medicine. I don't know if she went to study she went to study medicine. Maybe she went to study something else. Because even BCom, you have to study business commerce. It's 4 years. I don't know. So anyway, apparently she went there to study udakitari, which is medicine. Uh, and then freshly Momburi goes on to say, kusomea udaktari, I already said that. He goes on to say, nikauza shamba langu sababu yake. So he sold his family property. So he went to his grandmother and he was like, oh, his grandfather, apparently. Okay, I'm just making this up. It his grandfather and he was like, grandfather, I have this woman and she's going to be my wife. So give me your inheritance before you die. I know you're going to die someday. So instead of waiting for that inheritance for you to die so you can give me that inheritance, give me that advance inheritance. Okay, this is all hypothetical. Okay. And so yeah, he sells his property, but not just that. He goes ahead and sells his car. According to him, he says nikauza gari langu sababu yake yeye. So he sells his car, which is a big deal in Kenya. In Kenya, and especially in the or the early 2000s. I don't know when this song came out. Probably in the late 90s or the early 2000s. But yeah, he sells his car, but he doesn't stop there. Okay, he goes ahead and says nikauza ngombe na mbuzi sababu yake. He goes on, so apparently translation, he sells his cows and his goats. And in Kenya and in African culture, uh, what do you call cows and sheep and livestock? Livestock in African culture is wealth, is equivalent to wealth. So this guy is sold his wild livestock, his cows, especially in the Kalenjins. We put a lot of emphasis on cows. We love cows. So, but this guy, out of love for this Chile, out of his woman, he sells all of it, right? He sells all his cows. He goes to his, he even says, na pesa nyingine ya matumuzi. Yeah, he sells his cows. He sells his car. He sells his parcel of land. He goes to the bank, to the local bank branch, and he asks for the manager. He tells the manager, bro, how much money do I have in that account? The manager probably says, I have 10,000 shillings, which at that time probably was a lot of money. Or maybe he said 100,000, I don't know. And he tells the manager, bro, wipe that thing. I want every single amount of money that he put in this bank. He takes all that money, puts it in this pile of wealth, right? All his wealth. And imagine all your wealth, bro. This guy was probably at this point 40 years. So he's worked for like 20 years. He sold all his parcels of land. He sold all his sheep and goats and cows and whatever he had. Whatever, I don't know. Maybe even mosquitoes and whatever. Every livestock he had. And sheep. Did I say sheep? Sheep, cows, goats. He puts in that money. He sells his car, bro. He probably had a car, bro. Back in the 2010s. Having a car was a big deal. But now he chose to walk. He said, from today on, for the sake of my woman, I'm going to sell all this. And I'm going to put it so she can go to Japan and study and come back. Okay? Now, this is a guy who loves his woman. And he does all this, this song. It's a very interesting song. It doesn't stop there. And he goes on to tell us the date that this Chile left, his woman left. He goes to sing, ilikuwa tarehe 17 mwezi wa tano. So basically it was the 10th date of the 7th month. Wait, yeah? Ilikuwa tarehe 17. No, the 17th date of the 5th month. That was the day Stella was supposed to come back. Or that was the day he was supposed to come back. And this is where it gets interesting, okay? So remember, this guy sold everything he has, puts it, and he gives it to his woman. And this is, so her woman uses this money to go to Japan. And she studies very hard. So hard that she was able to complete medicine in 3 years. Bro, That's how hard to study, bro. A course that takes 6 years in Kenya. This lady went to Japan and completed it in 3 years, which is interesting. I don't know. Maybe he could have said 4 years. I don't know. That would have been a lot more believable. But yeah, this lady on the 17th day of the fifth month, which is what is the fifth month? January, February, March, April, May. So she comes back May 15th, May 17th. And this is a very interesting date because every year Kenyans celebrate this date like it's a real thing. And this thing is just a song, which is interesting. But anyway, on the 17th day of the fifth month, freshly Mwamburi goes to the airport. And why is he going to the airport? Because in the airport, his lady that he sold everything he had in the world for, so he can send her to Japan to bring money to study and come back. His lady was supposed to arrive that day. Okay, and Freshly Mamburi describes uh, what happened that day. Right, he sings, "Nilikuwa na Uncle Kilinda uwanja wa ndege." So he had his friend Uncle Kilinda, or his uncle, whose name was Kilinda. "Nilikuwa na barizi wa Kolomba na mkewe na watoto wake." He had a minister called Colomba. I don't know if he's a real guy, but apparently the minister was also there with his kids, waiting for his woman. But there's also another guy, though. He also had Mushomba wa Mudundo Nike. Okay, I don't know what that is. Maybe. But anyway, he had all these people to come by because, they were coming to greet the lady and bring her back and welcome her back to Kenya, so that Freshly Wamburi and his woman can celebrate the rest of their lives in harmony. Like the story of happy thereafter. This was apparently what was supposed to happen, right? Anyway, but suddenly, man, something happens, bro. Something very interesting happens, and Freshly Wamburi sings, Ghafla ndege lilipotua niliona vituko. So basically, when the plane landed, he couldn't believe what he saw. What did he see? He sings as follows: Stella alishuka amebeba mtoto mkononi. This is the funny part. This is the funny part, fellas. Because when that plane landed, I don't know if it was a Kenya Airways plane or Kenya or Japan Airlines. I don't know. That I don't know. But Freshly Mwamburi says when that lady stepped out of the plane, she had a baby. What? Bro, this guy had been gone for 3 years. And we all know the gestation period for humans is 9 months. So definitely, and he doesn't say he went to Japan. This guy didn't go to Japan. So when this woman was out there apparently studying medicine, uh, she also did some anatomy exploration, and now she comes back to Kenya, and she has a child. That's not the end of the story. Let's go on. Uh, Nyuma yake, Freshly goes on to sing the following: Nyuma yake mchumba wake mfupi, futi nne mjapani. So when Stella was there carrying the baby, behind her, guess who was there, bro? A 4-foot Japanese was there right there. And that was Stella's husband. Oh my lord. Freshly Momburi sold everything he had. Every piece of land he had. Every piece of cattle. Every piece of goat. Every piece of sheep. Every chicken he had, including his car, sold even his car. Sends his woman to Japan. His woman comes back. She's holding a baby. Is the baby Freshly's? Hell no. We all know the gestation period for humans is 9 months. And the other way we know is that there's a gentleman, a 4-foot gentleman, Japanese guy, behind the lady holding a kid. No, actually, the lady was holding the kid. The guy was just behind her, which is very unromantic because you should help your woman carry the baby. But maybe the guy was carrying luggage. Who knows? Anyway, Freshly Mamburi apparently is heartbroken. He sings, Nilisikitika ndani ya moyo, nikakosa la kufanya. So anyway, he says he was heartbroken to the core. And he didn't know what to do. And even me myself, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, what am I supposed to do? When I sold everything I have, I sell my MacBook here, I sell my microphone, I sell my vehicle, I sell my bed, my flags, my Apple Watch, my hoodie to send a woman to Japan. And then the woman comes back and she's holding a baby after 3 years. Remember, guys, it's after 3 years, not after 9 months. Because even if, because maybe if it was after 9 months, maybe we could have said, oh, maybe they were having a last party before she went. Maybe she got pregnant and she come back after 9 months. Hold on, baby. I don't know. Hey, but hold on. She says she's holding a baby. What if the baby is more than 1 years old? Okay, it's possible that the baby is 3 years old, but still, I mean, a 3-year-old baby can't hold in the arms. I don't know. But anyway, obviously, Mr. Freshly Momburi was heartbroken. Uh, and he sings the following. Nilitamani nilie Kikamba, lakini sikijui. Ilinibidi nilie Kijaluo, angatimango wachowa freshly. So anyway, he goes on to say, man, he didn't know what to do. So he had to cry. He wanted to cry in Kikamba. Kikamba is a language in Kenya, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, bro. He didn't, because he didn't know Kikamba. It's like me saying I'm weeping in Italian. I don't know Italian, but I would like, if I was heartbroken, I'd probably want to cry in Italian. Dude, how do Italians cry? Okay, I'm joking. Okay, but anyway, he also goes to sing Manze. Uh, he also just okay. He goes on to repeat that stanza. Man, he goes on to say to cry or yeah, it's a very heartbreaking breaking story, man, and that's probably the reason why it's famous in Kenya. It's a very famous, very famous song. And the year, I forgot to tell you guys the year that when this happened. The year was 1992. He goes on to say in one of the last stanzas, ilikuwa tarehe 17 mwezi wa tano mwaka 1992. Okay, yeah, 1992. That was the year. A lot of people were born around that time, so it could have been any one of you guys born in 1992. Uh, so anybody who's how old? 32. 1992 are 33 years old now. Are they? 1992. Yeah, it's 32. So all you 30, if there's a 32-year-old out there who's half Japanese, he could be freshly Momburi's uh, ex-wife's son or daughter. They don't tell us what the kid is. But yeah, this is a very interesting story, man. It's a very interesting story. But it's also a story that kind of reiterates some of the challenges faced by the young the boy child of Kenya. Uh, and even in the US, this is true. Some people come here to the US, they when I find out, they do all they can, bro, and they secure their own life here, and it's good. But then again, they go to bring a woman in Africa, and the woman comes to US, and they settle down for a little bit, and the woman, goes to school, probably to become a nurse, and she becomes a nurse. Now, immediately after she becomes a nurse, the guy turns to freshly Momburi. The woman just does a 180, and the gentlemen, a few gentlemen, Kenyan gentlemen here in the U.S., have been left heartbroken and have been left in the dust crying. But anyway, this song ends with a freshly Momburi singing, come back, Stella. I still need you, baby." Some people, uh, somebody like Kibwe would probably clarify. Hey, Kingereza, bro, this English is pretty hard. Would probably classify freshly Momburi as a Kinuthia. Because even after all this, bro, he still sings that he still wants Stella to come back. Man, Stella was, hey, bro, Stella is one. I don't know how Stella looked like, but she must have been very good looking for freshly Momburi to still want to forgive her after heartbreaking that man uh, like crazy. But anyway, that kind of completes this episode. The interesting story of Stella. I don't know if that story is true. I don't know. Is it true? Because it's very specific. I don't know. Maybe it's not the story of Freshly Mwamburi, but maybe Freshly Mwamburi knew somebody who had a girlfriend, and that somebody, his friend, probably sold everything he had. Bro, can you imagine selling everything you have, right? Just to send a woman to school? And that lady goes on to betray you and have a baby with somebody else who they meet in medical school in Japan, a 4 foot Japanese gentleman. But then Japanese even that I don't think Japanese are that short. But obviously this is just a piece of art. It's not meant to be taken too literally, but it's this story is highly too specific. It's probably a story of somebody. But yeah, it's a very interesting story. Y'all should go check it out. Like I said, the title of the song is Stella Wangu. Stella and it's by Freshly Freshle Mwamburi. I think if you just type Stella Wangu, it's going to show you. There's been a remix that was made in I think 2021. I don't like the remix too much. I prefer the original ones. But yeah, that goes on to complete this episode, man. It's been a great honor, a great honor to review Bana Stella, the interesting story of Stella Mwamburi, or Freshly Mwamburi, sorry. Uh, Now let me go on and see if I have any. I have 3 likes. That's pretty cool. It's been already 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and do some shout outs to everybody and anyone who's watching. Hold on, let me put up my previous video. Thank you very much for everybody who's liked. Thank you very much to everybody who's watched, everybody who has commented, everybody who's done anything. Okay. uh, for this video, I can't tell who liked it, but for my previous video, thank you to Jelimo Kori, thank you to Sophie Jerop, thank you to Jacob Brian Rotich, Sharon Jemwetich, and also to Anne Susan, Nasha Ruchez, Jafet Korir, Moses Bet, my village mate, Dave Ashkey, who's Dave Ashkey? Gloria Chelimo, Collins Mines, Rutairon Bia, the Marine, Tumutai Dennis, Hilda Violence, Jelimo Kori, Sharon Saina, Bernard Kipchumba, and last but not least, Charity Kitur. And yeah, that kind of completes this episode. Hope to see you guys next time. Until later on, fellas. Peace.